Saudi Arabian population consists of roughly 31.5 million people, with a unique gender distortion for the male population from ages 30 to 44, possibly from foreign workers. Otherwise, it would be concave-shaped, indicating rapid growth, which is uncommon in developed countries. Saudi birth rates are 18.78 births per 1,000 population. Death rates are 3.32 deaths per 1,000 population. Saudis have a high sex ratio at 1.05 males per female. Infant mortality rates are 14.58 deaths per 1,000 live births. Yemen has a population of 26 million people and a concave-shaped population pyramid, indicating rapid growth common in developing countries. Yemen has 31.02 births per 1,000 population. Death rates are 6.45 deaths per 1,000 population. Yemen has a sex ratio equal to Saudi Arabia at 1.05 males per female, and infant mortality rates are 50.41 per 1,000 live births. Yemen is higher in every category than Saudi Arabia, except for gender ratio. This could be a result of Saudi Arabia's position as a developed nation. Historically, Saudi Arabia is considered the birthplace of Islam and was formed as a modern state in 1932. Oil was discovered in 1938. It is a heavily oil-dependent nation which produces some of the largest quantities of oil in the world, making it a key member of OPEC and one of the regional superpowers of the Middle East. It is a key ally of the United States in the region, and its main rival is Iran. It was very recently involved in the current Yemen civil war. Historically, Yemen as it is today is a very young country, spawned from the unification of the North and South in 1990. The North gained independence from the Ottoman Empire in 1918 after its collapse in World War I, and the South gained independence from Britain in 1967. Yemen is currently in the midst of a civil war, with Houthi rebels retaining much of the country's north from the government. Terrorist groups, such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS, have also infiltrated the country and have captured territory as well, essentially fracturing the country into different regions. It is being considered by many as a failed state at this point.
We have air assets from a number of countries in the kingdom, and we have military assets that are on their way to the kingdom to participate in these operations. Having Yemen fail cannot be an option for us or for our coalition partners, and so we are determined to protect the legitimate government of Yemen.
Yemen's conflicts will undoubtedly create many challenges for its population as it descends into turmoil with no end to the conflict in sight. The war will most likely increase death rates in the country and cause severe shortages of basic resources such as food and water access and healthcare. As the war continues, the number of displaced Yemeni persons will continue to rise and may lead to an influx of refugees in neighboring countries, or Europe, as was the case with Syria. Saudi Arabia probably does not have any large military conflict, internal or external, that the population will suffer from, though it is in danger of significant economic damage if it does not diversify its oil-dependent economy. Its growing youth unemployment problem will only continue as the population grows, seeing as most of the oil jobs go to expatriates. A solution to this would be developing other high-demand industries such as tech that will allow the country to diversify and prosper. It will also continue to be scrutinized and possibly sanctioned by the international community for its human rights abuses. The former Saudi king was asked to implement population policies to control its unusually high fertility rate for a developed country. The Yemen conflict will most likely affect Saudi Arabia as it gets worse. The Saudi military has already involved itself once. To solve this, the Yemeni government must maintain and recapture its territory from Houthi rebels or incoming terrorist groups. If not, Saudi Arabia will find that its neighbors are a quickly deteriorating, failed state that will pose a severe security problem for them in the future. Saudi Arabia's main issues are indicative of a modern developed state. Main concerns include human rights issues relating to their strict religious government institutions that frequently infringe upon freedom of the press by imprisoning journalists and hindering women's rights that are common in other developed nations. Economic issues such as youth unemployment and poverty are driven by recently low oil prices and a significant portion of expatriate workers taking jobs from native Saudis. Yemen's problems are very much typical of a developing nation, like managing food, water, and sanitation infrastructure. The war has only exacerbated these problems and has made any economic improvement a challenge. Its export-import industries have nearly halted, inflation has accelerated, and general infrastructure has been damaged. Approximately 80% of the population was in need of humanitarian assistance by the end of 2015.